This is Dale the Demon Torborg.
My name is Bryce Remsburg. I'm the Chikara Senior Official.
This is April Hunter from AprilHunter.com.
I'm Bobby Ches, a three-time world champion, Showtime expert analyst.
This is Coolio with the Flow, a.k.a. the Ghetto Gourmet.
This is Dan the B7, the only Triple Crown champion in the UFC history.
Hi, everybody. This is Jerry the King Lawler. That's right, WWE Hall of Famer.
This is Jeff Damon from Deadliest Warrior on Spike TV.
You have tuned in and are now live listening to the three-time NWA Heavyweight Champion of the World, Scrapper Anna Pierce. And just like you, I am also locked in. And, brother, we are beyond ringside.
Yes, all the commotion you've been hearing from the servers over the last little while is actually live. Greetings on this 5th day of February. Welcome. Hybrid episode, normally in the Tuesday time slot to be called Back to Basics, but we're going beyond ringside live on this one. From Studio One in beautiful Birmingham, Alabama, this is the Magic City Motor Mouth Fast Eddie Layne. And welcoming in, I'm bringing the name back just for fun, hashtag Gerbil Jesus Central, Mark MaBo Bowman. What's up, brother?
Did you know that they've got bacon cheese fries at McDonald's now?
No, I normally don't go to the Golden Arches. I hide.
Well, I was craving a double quarter pounder, and they have bacon cheese fries for a limited time only. So, Kel, surprise on my part.
I'm just trying to figure out why everybody's trying to come out with new and innovative ways and copycatting everybody else's new and innovative ways to make everybody fat. Look,
I don't need anybody's help. I'm good.
I'm 5'8", 243. I think I'm where I need to be about 60 pounds ago. But
yeah.
Thank you to everybody tuning in through BeyondRingside.com, ProWrestlingRadio.net, the TuneIn Radio app. We do have a channel over there. And, of course, there are actually, as we speak, 13 different ways that you can listen live. And, of course, if you are catching us on replay, everything from Spreaker, Podomatic, Stitcher, iHeartRadio, and even more ways, including archive.org. And for those of you listening all the way across the board, I promise I'm going to start working to rebuild the media page at BeyondRingside.com in the very near future. We always talk about it's an exciting time to be in pro wrestling here in the continental U.S. or in North America and all the way around the world. And a couple of years ago, some of the founding fathers up north, and I will say that in that capacity because it is in Pennsylvania, came together to put together a great event called National Pro Wrestling Day. This year, calendar year 2019, the host company, of course, one of our favorites, Chikara Pro Wrestling. And representing Chikara and National Pro Wrestling Day, longtime friend of the family, and it's always a privilege to have him on board, Bryce Remsburg. Bryce, how you doing, brother?
I'm well. I'm just going to duck out and head over to McDonald's real quick. I just heard some news about their menu. I'll be right back. I'll probably pop to the drive-thru, but I'll be on the line the whole time if you lose me. I don't know what y'all are talking about. You got cookout down in those parts, right?
The closest cookout to us would be Tuscaloosa, and Eddie Tuscaloosa
Really?
is how far? Yeah.
Actually, Tuscaloosa,
Me, Alabama.
Tuscaloosa would be about 40, maybe 45 minutes at the most from where we're located.
Okay. I have a one time I was in Birmingham, Alabama, and we were at a hotel prior to an IWA Deep South event. It was a beautiful day. It was probably 80 or 90 degrees, and the late great Sweet and Sour Larry Sweeney convinced me that even though I did not have a swimming suit, it would be okay to get into the hotel pool in my tighty whities. And I allowed him to peer pressure me, as I did many occasions. As soon as I settled in the pool in my tighty whities, the whole family rolls up. And I'm trying to figure out how I get out of the pool with my tighty whities in front of these children. And a couple deep breaths and a brisk walk, and we were out of there. But that's one of my Birmingham, Alabama memories.
You need to pop back down here sometime.
I do. I'd love to. It sounds great.
Now,
it's especially in the winter. We had an unseasonably warm day. It was 64 degrees here today in Lancaster, Pennsylvania. But last Thursday, which was only 5 days ago, it was 2 degrees. 2 degrees, one for each finger on a peace sign. So yeah, I'd love to visit Alabama sometime soon. And I want to thank you guys for the time and the opportunity to spread the good word about this coming Sunday's event, National Pro Wrestling Day 2019, the 7th annual national celebration of this holiday we totally made up. My favorite holiday, top 5 at least, after Arbor Day and Secretary's Day. But excited to bring the celebration here to Lancaster for the first time. We've got a ton of great sponsors, and we got a great charity this year. We're working with the Arch Street Center, which is kind of a haven, a YMCA, a place that local folks with adults with mental illness that are have difficulty holding down a job, kind of a place they can go during the day. They're guaranteed 2 fresh hot meals. There's pool tables. There's washer and dryer. There's showers. It's just kind of a safe haven. Nintendo Wii, emails, phones, everything they need just to kind of feel safe, especially in the cold months. It's exceptionally helpful to these folks. And, they're a small nonprofit off the beaten path here in Lancaster. They're not on a main street. Not a lot of people know about them. So our goal is to raise $5,000 for them between now and Sunday. So we're definitely on the right track with the sponsors. We're going to be collecting donations live at Tell Us 360 on Sunday afternoon. But if you can't join us in Lancaster, you're in Alabama, we've got great news for you. Our friends at IndependentWrestling.tv are going to be streaming the event completely live and completely free. No promo code necessary, no sign-up necessary. You don't need to give your credit card. Straight up, the event will be streaming for free at IWTV.live.
So let's
exciting times, exciting news, and as far as the internet goes, it'll be International Pro Wrestling Day. Anywhere the internet touches, in your pocket, on your laptop, on your iPad, your tablet, your whatever it is, you can Roku box, all those good things. Independent Wrestling TV has that all figured out. So if you can't be there with us on Sunday in Lancaster, you can be there with us wherever you are. 2 p.m. Eastern Time is, 7 p.m. in the UK, 8 p.m. in Germany, 11 a.m. in California, maybe I believe 1 p.m. in Alabama, if I'm not mistaken.
Correct.
So yes, an International Wrestling Day Pro Wrestling Day to be sure. All roads lead to Sunday afternoon. It'll be quite the soiree, gentlemen.
Now, to steal one from a recent television commercial, when you said that word, you meant free as in free? Free. Free.
No risk, all reward. To come into the venue, there's never ever been pro wrestling at this venue before. I'm excited to bring it there for the first time. The area here in central Pennsylvania has kind of been burned by a couple of, let's say, shindy promotions. You can use your imagination as to what that stands for. And we're trying to, right that wrong in many people's ears, and pro wrestling are naughty words in this area, and we're doing all we can to right that wrong. There is absolutely no barrier to entry, completely free. Come for a match, come for the whole show. Bring your kids, bring your grandparents, bring your mailman, bring the whole family. It is an afternoon of entertainment awaiting you, and it won't cost you a dime. If you're so inclined, you'd like to make a donation to the Arch Street Center, of course we appreciate it. That's totally welcome. But we're not going to peer pressure anyone into it. We're not going to make anyone feel guilty for it. We just want you to come and enjoy the wrestling. In many minds, maybe not just here in central Pennsylvania, but in minds across the world, pro wrestling has a negative connotation. Some people think it's, steroids and guys yelling and which is part of our childhood, which is great. But pro wrestling means so much more. It's a community. There's a lot of positivity with it, especially in the Chikara circles. So we are, created this holiday in a way to showcase the positive power of pro wrestling, and it'll be on plain display in full view of everyone on Sunday afternoon at Tell Us 360. And we hope you can either make it physically, make it virtually, or make a donation through our website or Arch Street Center's website between now and Sunday.
Now, actually, I'm going to cross the streams for a second. Now, this is actually the kickoff for Season 20 for Chikara, right, as well as National Pro Wrestling Day. They interlink.
That's true. Yes, that's true. That's true. When National Pro Wrestling Day started, it started as a showcase of all kinds of different promotions. That proved to be a logistical nightmare. Egos and politics became involved, and that's the last thing we wanted to have as part of a charity show. So it kind of became a more focused aspect of a Chikara-focused endeavor, which is not to, denigrate any other promotions out there. There's all kinds of wonderful, great wrestling, more than ever before right now. But National Pro Wrestling Day is a Chikara-driven vehicle currently, and yes, it is the season 20 premiere. There were definitely some unanswered questions at the end of season 19. Perhaps some of them will be answered. Perhaps some of the questions will be changed on Sunday. It will be within the realm of Chikara's canon, while also serving, those of us, those fans who have never seen us before.
And folks, I'll sit back and say this. If you have not had an opportunity or taken an opportunity, I don't care if you live in the lower 48, I don't care if you live where in the world you live, because you can find, I just bit my tongue, sorry about that. There is a way to see Chikara in its previous events, previous seasons, if you will, directly through ChikaraPro.com. I believe, MaBo, you're, hang on a second. Excuse me, MaBo cover.
MaBo, how you feel, my man? You excited for Sunday?
Oh yeah, sorry. I just received an Amber Alert on my phone and it scared me.
Yeah, I got the same thing. I got the same thing.
It scared Eddie as well.
No, it took me by surprise because I have my phone set up for certain alerts, and when that one went off, it's like, okay, this must be good. And then, as I said, called for MaBo. It's like I showed up an Amber Alert. It's like, for our friends in our home market of Birmingham, Alabama. Okay, excuse me, let's go. I'm getting an Amber Alert for Pascagoula, Mississippi.
I've never heard of that. Hope everyone's okay.
Well, if you might have heard of it if you've ever heard of the musician Ray Stevens.
Yeah,
that is where the squirrel went berserk in that church.
That would be called.
I will take this very selfish opportunity to tell all your listeners, if there are any promoters in Mississippi, hit me up, because I'm trying to referee in all 50 states, and I have never refereed in Mississippi.
You've never refereed in Mississippi?
No, I have not. I've refereed in Alabama, Georgia, Florida. No, never Mississippi, never Arkansas. And as far as I know, these are not commissioned states, so it's not a big hassle to get a license and everything. So if you're a promoter in Mississippi or Arkansas, hit me up. Let's make a deal.
We may have you some connections in Mississippi. We'll start doing some looking around, because Mark and I both have some really good friends who actually work in Mississippi. Now,
wonderful.
I was trying to remember the word Chikaratopia.
Yes, Chikaratopia.com. Also, a lot of our back catalog is being added onto the independentwrestling.tv. We're kind of slowly but surely merging powers with this great powerhouse. I'm not sure if they have, I think something like 40 or 50 promotions and thousands of hours of pro wrestling on this wonderful streaming service, independentwrestling.tv. You can find Beyond on there, and all kinds of wonderful freelance out in Chicago, Canadian promotions. It's a great, but yes, all previous 19 seasons of Chikara, which is 800 events or something crazy like that, is all waiting for you. Chikaratopia.com. There's a free trial on there. After that, it's only $7.99 a month. So yeah, get into that as well.
Yes, the independent.tv is formerly powerbomb.tv.
Okay.
Yes.
See, I did not know about that, so I just learned something new today.
Yeah,
we're almost together. We're almost together, Eddie.
Yeah, they just recently switched from Powerbomb to Independent Wrestling. Well, like a month. It's not even a month ago. Yeah.
The champion of all of independent wrestling is Orange Cassidy, so I can assure you we're in good hands.
Oh, Orange Cassidy. That is
anyhow.
About to say, is that a distant relative of Orange Crush? I don't know.
19 seasons of Chikara is waiting for you there. The season 20 premiere, we're just kind of, getting our schedule together, getting ready for heading back to Philadelphia in March. We're heading to Jersey City for WrestleMania weekend in April, up to the Poconos, out to Pittsburgh and Chicago in May, and a bunch more to be announced over the summer. So yeah, season 20 is going to be kicking off. There was kind of a lot of question marks surrounding the finale of season 19, involving specifically Dasher Hatfield and Mr. Touchdown in the Grand Championship of Chikara, I, as the Director of F.U.N, have asked them both to join us in Lancaster on Sunday at National Pro Wrestling Day. Hopefully we can get some answers out of Dasher Hatfield and clear the air about the Grand Championship of Chikara. They have both accepted my invitation, so they both will be in the house on Sunday, and we'll see what happens next then, shall we, gentlemen?
Very nice. I love it.
Well, that's what I was going to say. That was my question, Bryce. Were you, going into the new season, did you still hold the title of Director of F.U.N? I mean,
I do. I've been renewed for another season of Director of F.U.N. I think all the parties I threw in high school and college have paid off. I'm good at fun directing. I've been with Chikara since day one. So yeah, I will still be Director of F.U.N. And one of the first top of my list, not National Pro Wrestling Day notwithstanding, is settling the situation involving the Grand Championship, Dasher Hatfield and Mr. Touchdown. We're going to try to get some clarity, try to get some answers, try to get some guidance here on Sunday at National Pro Wrestling Day.
Okay, I have to cut in for a second because you're missing two things when it comes to the fun system. You were lacking two little things because I haven't gotten the call to come up and host karaoke yet, and MaBo hasn't gotten the call to come up and give hula lessons.
I see. Well, get me booked in Mississippi. We'll make it a trifecta.
Hey, there's my word. Hey, thank you.
Yeah, actually, after reading the results of the season finale of season 19, I'm not even gonna lie to you, Bryce. It took me by surprise. I was like,
I think we were all taken by surprise. Yeah, I don't know if this is a full-fledged change of character, a lapse in judgment, but like I said, myself, the Chikarmi, the locker room, his son Boomer, we're all looking to get some answers, and hopefully we can get some answers out of him on Sunday.
Or if I could throw back a little callback to many seasons ago, maybe he's experienced a glitch from his creator wrestler days.
That's true. Maybe he's been electrocuted again at Wiggly's podcast lair. Who knows? Who knows? But yeah, there'll be a full card of excitement, all in the name of a good cause. Doing good feels good, so let's all try to do some good together on Sunday, be it live in Lancaster or virtually anywhere in the world, even Alabama and Mississippi.
Let's take a look at a couple of the matches. I've got the lineup here in front of me, and one of the matches that is guaranteed to have everybody's eyes wide open is going to be Officer Warren Barksdale taking on Hallowicked, Bryce.
Sure, yeah, it's the most experienced member of the entire Chikara roster, a guy that was in one of on the first event back in May of 2002, Hallowicked, trainer at the Wrestle Factory, and one of the least experienced members of the whole roster. Officer Warren Barksdale probably has, I'd say, 50 or 60 matches tops in his whole career. Hallowicked, has probably, 1,000. I'm going to say 1,000 matches under his belt. So it's, what a feather in the cap, in the belt it would be of Officer Barksdale to knock off a two-time former grand champion in Hallowicked. And Hallowicked, obviously he doesn't care if Dasher or Touchdown is the champion. A win is a point. A point puts him in the right direction toward title contention. So we'll see what happens.
Now, do me a favor before we go any further. Let me ask you to explain for those who are not familiar. You made the reference to a point. So let me go ahead and ask you to give everybody the feedback on that, or the straight up on that.
Sure. Be it the Grand Championship, which is our primary singles championship, which was introduced in 2011, or our Campeones de Parejas, which translates to partner champions, our version of tag team champions, which were introduced in 2006. A challenging team has to win 3 successive matches in their field, be it a singles or tag team, to earn a championship opportunity. You don't just get handed a title match. You have to win 3 in a row to earn the shot. Once you earn the shot, you challenge for the title. If you lose, you go back to 0. If you win, you become the champion. Hallowicked and Officer Barksdale, I think Hallowicked might have a point or 2 on the board, but every singles match he signs up for, he's wagering those points. He's putting those points in jeopardy. Elsewhere on the card, we're going to see Cornelius Crummels and Sonny Defarge, who are former holders of said Campeones de Parejas, challenging new champions, unlikely champions in their first defense back in October, we had this thing called La Loteria Letal, which was the lethal lottery. Partners were randomly assigned from literally a bingo turn thing. I pulled names out of a hat, assigned partners, Princess Kimberly and the Whisper, who have some kind of a background and no love lost, were randomly assigned as partners. They went on to not only win the whole tournament, but win the championships. So they're currently the campione. So they're the champions. They, do not get along. They're not on the same page, but they're going to find themselves defending the titles against former champions on Sunday afternoon in Crumbles and Defarge, because Crumbles and Defarge won 3 successive tag team matches and earning that opportunity.
Now, the fun part is for Kimber and Whisper is the fact that you have that friction there, and it also translates to, I know both have a heavily competitive nature. So it's going to be a case of, the former champs, of course, want to get the titles back, but you've got Whisper and Princess Kimberly, who are probably going to try to one-up each other to see who can actually get the pin and retain the titles.
Yeah, sure. No, if they can even get along. Again, a lot of questions to be answered. Do they even want to be partners? Do they even want to be champions? Will this be a very short reign? Who's to say? But you make an excellent point, Eddie.
Speaking of tag, go ahead, Mark.
Well, I was going to say, just to add, from a few seasons back, right before Kimberly's departure, there was several unanswered questions. Exactly what was going on, with her and the Whisper. And that's what I wanted.
Yeah, there's some kind of untold, unspoken connection in past and history that even I, as the Director of F.U.N, don't know. As long as they show up for the title offenses, that's all I'm really worried about. I'm not a guidance counselor. I don't, I'd be great if they get along, but that's not my business. But so far, they qualified for a title shot. They won the titles. They're scheduled to be there to defend the titles. So, yeah, I'm not sure if we're ever going to find out what really the deal is between them. Who's to say?
One of the matches that has me smiling, because I know that there is a story that I don't know about the way this match comes together, and that is with Penelope Ford going one-on-one with Blank's Prize Art Project Still Life with Apricots and Pears. Or is it Apricots and Pears?
I think it depends where in the country you reside. I've heard it both ways. But yes, Blank is this tortured artiste. He is the leader of the Nouveau Aesthetic. He had another member of the Nouveau Aesthetic, Ursa Minor of the Night Sky. He determined he was not, up to snuff, and he kicked him out. So now it's just Blank and Still Life with Apricots and Pears, his prize protege. They have taken some kind of a interest, infatuation, I don't know what it is, in Penelope Ford, who is, as we all know, not only a beautiful woman, but a very talented wrestler.
Yes.
What their infatuation is with her, we're not really clear, but it kind of started with Blank at the season 19 finale. Now his protege, his underling, his most prized exhibit, I don't know what you want to call it, will be testing his mettle, and he's a relative rookie. Still Life with Apricots and Pears probably has, I'd say, 15 or 20 matches under his belt. So it should be interesting to see how that all goes down. But Penelope Ford is, one of the most sought-after talents on the entire scene. She's, fixing to start up with All Elite Wrestling very soon, world-traveled, and an amazing athlete in her own right. So that should be an interesting showdown as well.
Tag team action as part of National and International Pro Wrestling Day.
Sure, let's go there.
The Cyberhawks 2000 duo of Nighthawk and Razorhawk fly into Tellus 360 to meet the unpleasant FIST Fist Challenge of Travis Huckabee and Tony Deppen.
Yes, Tony Deppen is relatively local. He grew up in central Pennsylvania. And ever since Travis Huckabee's had this attitude change last year, what he did to Solo Darling has been wholly unpleasant to be around. But they're both very talented, and they'll be seeing tag action against Razorhawk and Nighthawk of the Cyberhawks 2000. As we mentioned, tag team points are in play here. We'll see who can pick up a point towards title contention and bragging rights, I suppose, as well. Four very impressive, high-speed athletes and a guaranteed interesting showdown, to be sure.
taking part this Sunday as part of National Pro Wrestling Day and International Pro Wrestling Day. I will use both of them. We can run with it and have a little fun all the way across the board as Missile Assault Man goes one-on-one with Juan Francisco de Coronado.
Yeah, these guys have had some epic showdowns. Whenever these two meet, it just seems to be a bona fide instant classic. They had quite a showdown back when Juan was grand champion in North Carolina. Missile Assault Man has recently returned to the ranks of Chikara, and he seems like he always has the upper hand on Juan, but he can never get the job done. So we'll see if this can be the time that he can actually pull it off and actually win a match with Juan Francisco de Coronado. I'm not sure. We'll see what happens, but I'm sure Papa Meltzer will be rolling out the stars pretty quick on this one.
I will let slide saying that name one time. That's all you get.
I'm sorry. I'm so sorry.
No, we have a term that I will mention off air because I started when we first came back for our season 13 premiere. But I'll go ahead and say it. Those who okay, I'll hold. We'll talk about it off air. I just got yes, my conscience just got in touch with me on that one. But continuing on, this coming Sunday, Lancaster, Pennsylvania is the place to be. You are going to have a 4 corners elimination tag this Sunday as part of National Pro Wrestling Day. And I will let you. I'll ask you to give the full background on the teams. I will rack them off a little bit like this: Los Ice Creams, the Proteus Wheel, the Burden to Be, and of course the Colony.
Yeah, I think this one really I think we're going to see a lot of first-time attendees. A lot of people who have never seen Chikara before are going to come see Chikara for the first time live at TELUS 360 in Lancaster on Sunday afternoon. And this really serves up the best and brightest. This is Chikara in a nutshell, this 4-corner tag team match. I'm not sure if you guys are familiar with a woman by the name of Willow Nightingale out of New York. She's just a ball of energy, an amazing person to be around. Excited to have her on the crew. Her and Solo Darling have been tearing it up in WWR, Women's Wrestling Revolution rankings up in New England and New York. And we'll see if they can continue to do the same here. Just a very, very talented wrestler. And I think this match, more than any on the entire card, really sums up what Chikara has to offer. An interesting thing about our 4-corner tag team matches is that if one team is able to eliminate all the other 3 teams, they could leave, with 3 points in one fell swoop. So you're going to see a lot of teams angling to try to get the pin in this contest. As you mentioned, the Burden to Be, the Proteus Wheel, the Colony, 2/3 of 2018's King of Trios. And, somehow, some way, former Campeones de Parejas in Los Ice Creams.
And there is one more tag team match, and it's an intergender match. This one also, I do believe, has tag team contingent points in play. I'm hoping I pronounced the other name right. Jeremy Leary and Blanche Babish team up to go against...
Babish, yep, you got it.
Team up to go against, from the Creatures of the Deep, Murloc and Oceana.
Yes, Oceania and Murloc, the Creatures of the Deep. Oceania, the leader. She likes to crack the whip of the Creatures of the Deep. They were on a bit of a spiral late last season, not doing so great. She's kind of cracked the whip and got them back in sorts, and we'll see if they can continue their winning ways against the Sass and Fury combo of Jeremy Leary and Blanche Babish on Sunday afternoon. Kind of 4 up-and-comers in the ranks. Got 2 kind of bigger guys, 2 kind of hosses, 2 kind of smaller, very talented, spry women. Intergender tag team wrestling is nothing new in Chikara. We've been showcasing intergender wrestling for over 15 years now, and Sunday shall be no different when we get to Lancaster, when we get to TELUS 360 and National Pro Wrestling Day 2019.
And this will be located, of course, Bryce just said, at TELUS 360, located at 24 East King Street in Lancaster. Going to be easy to find. GPS will take you right to the area, no problem whatsoever.
Yeah.
Now, of course,
it is a block from the square. When I moved to Lancaster last August, one of my first moves was to look for a place to bring wrestling to. This is the ideal place. It's a concert venue. If you're going to have a cool event in Lancaster, it's going to be at TELUS 360, and I'm excited and honored and privileged to present the very first pro wrestling event ever at TELUS 360 on Sunday. Hopefully, the whole city comes out and supports, and the internet rises up, and we make some good money for a good cause.
And of course, as we stated originally, this is going to be streamed live through Independent Wrestling .tv or Independent Wrestling TV. Now, I need to find out, they do have full-scale app available, so you can watch it on phone as well as online, right?
I do believe so. I can't swear to the technical aspects of that, but I know it is readily available and more accessible than ever before. So you need to sneak a peek at a match, a minute, the whole event, whatever. It's literally in your pocket. It can't be easier. No credit card, no promo code, no sign up, nothing, no risk, all reward. Check out one match, the whole event. We're just asking you to give us a shot. We're trying to take down all the barriers of entry that there could possibly be for someone to just give us a chance. Come and give us a chance. You might just find yourself a fan for life.
I've had a chance to catch up on previous editions and watch live previous editions of National Pro Wrestling Day, and it's always a great time. It doesn't matter if you're watching in Birmingham, Alabama, if you're there live. Of course, if you're within 2-3 hours, easy drive time, make it there and catch it live. Because for as cool as it is to watch it on your phone or on your laptop or your desktop or project it to your 55-inch screen in your living room or your bedroom, it's always better to be there live. And remember, this is also a fundraiser for a great cause in the Arch Street Center. Now, I know it's probably impossible to remember them all, but I know you've also got some great sponsors coming on board for National Pro Wrestling Day at TELUS 360.
Yeah, we were able to acquire a list of 33 sponsors. One of the things I'm really proud of is kind of the eclectic mix of creativity and a lot of folks with maybe off-kilter and off-center hobbies kind of like mine. Here in Lancaster, there's Mr. Suit Records, which is a great record store, the roller derby team, the local team, which is the Dutchland Rollers, an art studio called Modern Art, the Circus School of Lancaster, a brewery right down the street from where I'm right now, Wacker Brewing Company. So many great, the local community has come together. Some great corporations like Giant Foods and Wegman Foods, big grocery stores that are, big multi-million-dollar companies. Our friends in wrestling, our friends at Excellence Pro Wrestling are sponsors. Heel Turn Radio, Occupy Pro Wrestling, ProWrestlingTees.com. Everybody knows them. They're a sponsor of the event. It's kind of a cross-section of all the worlds coming together to support a great cause and a great event. And as I said, we're on the path to raising $5,000 for Arch Street Center. Thanks to the sponsors, we're already more than halfway there. We're up around $2,700 between the donations will be set up during the event online. The donations will be taken in person at the event on Sunday, and a raffle I'll be conducting personally at intermission. It's going to be really great. It's going to be really exciting, and I can't wait for it all to come together. And hopefully we can do as much good as possible for the good folks at the Arch Street Center.
Now, as we start to head, because first off, I want to say thank you for being so generous with your time tonight. I know during the week it's kind of hectic for all of us, but I want to thank you for taking the time to come on board and help us tell everybody about what's going on this coming Sunday, February the 10th in Lancaster. But I do want to ask you personally, what all do you have coming up on the horizon as far as wrestling goes?
Well, I'm, there's no rest for the wicked. As hard as I try, I'll be in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania on Friday night, refereeing for a pro wrestling explosion, and I will be taking some time off because this National Pro Wrestling Day has been personally a lot on my plate. I'm taking a couple weeks off, but we get back in the swing of things. Young Lions Cup is in March. WrestleMania in Jersey in April is going to be crazy, and I will be refereeing at the All Elite Wrestling debut event in Las Vegas on Saturday night, May 25th. So that's very exciting for me personally. No shortage of excitement on the horizon, and hopefully, somehow, some way, all your listeners can, get in touch and check out some independent wrestling somehow, some way. If it's, sending $1 to the charity, buying a T-shirt, going to a live event, buying a DVD, signing up for a live streaming service, whatever it is, all your support does not go unnoticed and it's not forgotten. And we thank you so much, especially in times of charity and excitement like we have going on this Sunday.
Now, I know we're doing this live on air, but I want to go ahead and say we'd love to have you come back on a little bit closer to the Young Lions Cup, first and second stage, which is going to be set for March 16th. You think you might be able to pop back in then?
Sure. If not me, I can happily send one of our fine young lions in your direction to talk up their chances.
That would be absolutely incredible. Now, do me a favor before we let you run and enjoy the rest of your Tuesday night. How can everybody on social media for National Pro Wrestling Day and on social media and booking information for Bryce Remsburg?
We're at Chikara Pro on Twitter, at Chikara Live on Instagram. Again, I mentioned Independent Wrestling TV will have the live stream of Sunday's event, completely free, completely risk-free. No strings attached. Just check out the event. And I personally, ChikaraPro.com is the website, and the donation will be set up on Chikara Pro's Facebook page. It's pinned there right now. Between now and a week from tomorrow, Wednesday, February 13th, the online portion of that $5,000 goal is $1,000. So every dollar helps. There's no donation too small, no donation too big. We're just looking to make a difference here locally, and everything's great. And personally, I'm at Bryce's Right on Twitter. Slide into those DMs, buy a T-shirt, book me for your event. I'll see you guys in Mississippi, whatever it may be. And I'm the Bryce is often right on Instagram because my normal handle was taken. But nothing too serious, nothing too heady. I'm just a dude enjoying life, trying to chase around a 2-year-old son, loving pro wrestling, and still trying to keep up his day job. So, a lot on my plate. But come say hello. A friendly face is always welcome. I just got home from Atlanta last weekend for 2 events during the week of the Super Bowl. I'm still catching up on sleep, and I appreciate you guys for fitting me into your no doubt busy schedules this lovely Tuesday evening.
I flip it back and say thank you for fitting us into your busy schedule. It's always appreciated. Ladies and gentlemen, the one, the only, you know him as the Director of F.U.N. for Chikara going into Season 20. He's also one of the faces of National Pro Wrestling Day this Sunday, February 10th in Lancaster, Pennsylvania. He is Bryce Remsburg, and he just went Beyond Ringside. Hang tight. We're going to go to a quick break on the live side. We'll be back. This is Beyond Ringside Live and Back to Basics on the Beyond Ringside Radio Network.
Hey, half-heads, it's a 3-time NWA World Heavyweight Champion, Scrapline Adam Pierce. And just like me, you are locked in Beyond Ringside.
Ten minutes till 9 of the Central Time Zone. 10 till 10 in the East Coast. I'll let the rest of the time zones figure it out. You know where you are. And if you're in the Mountain Time Zone, just call Ted Guinness. He'll tell you exactly what time it is and normally where to go. Welcome back into Back to Basics and Beyond Ringside Live on this Tuesday night, 5th day of February. Fast Eddie Layne over here. Mark MaBo Bowman over there. What up?
Still ain't got them bacon cheese fries yet.
Well, that's your fault, not mine.
No, because I'm already full of meat. I'm such a fat kid. Not only did I have a double quarter pounder meal, but I had a 20-piece nugget on top of that.
And
I was hungry, dude.
Well, I told you part of what off air. I told MaBo about one of my new kryptonites or crack as far as food goes. I've got a plate for those who are familiar with Publix grocery stores. They have this at this one particular Publix where they have a cold section or a cold bar. They have what's called a Key West salad, crab meat, steamed shrimp, red, green, orange peppers or yellow peppers, white onions, purple onions, and cherry tomatoes. It's good. And,
question.
Yes.
Because I forgot to ask you this part because we were going on air. Now, does it come with a salad dressing on top of it, or
no?
Maybe like a light vinaigrette or something, or what is it, like an Italian or whatever they do at Olive Garden, like mixed in to kind of keep it salady?
No.
Ooh, even better.
So you can season that however you want to. Now their other cold bar salad bar has packets of a red wine vinaigrette or a canola oil, but I prefer.
Ooh.
Yeah, there is I can't remember if it's Wishbone. It's Kraft. They have a Italian, or a vinaigrette Italian, which is actually Parmesan flavored.
Well,
it's really good.
You know how I feel about salad dressings.
Yeah, okay. Well, like I said, this is an Italian.
It's number 3. It's number 3 on the list.
This is, like I said, it's not a ranch or a blue cheese. It's an Italian dressing.
It's all of them, Eddie.
Okay.
So you know who I blame for that partly?
Who dat?
Time for Timer.
There you go.
Yeah.
Those who know MaBo will get that. Those who don't, won't.
Those who don't still can't figure out why I don't.
I want to say before we go, first off, thank you to Bryce Remsburg for taking the time to come on with us this evening. Always great to have Bryce on board. And, of course, like I said, we're going to work on having some of the stars that are going to be a part of the 2019 Young Lions Cup with Chikara Pro Wrestling. As the date gets closer, of course, that's going to be March 16th for Stage 1 and Stage 2.
And can I just add something real quick because I didn't get to say it on the air?
Sure. You mean during the interview?
Huh?
You mean during the interview?
What did I say?
While we were on air?
Well, we were on air.
Yeah, I know, but we're still on air.
I know. Look, rough day. Anyway, and we've had Bryce on multiple times, and it never changes. And I'll go out on a limb and say this, and if I offend any of our previous guests, I do apologize. But Bryce Remsburg, one of the most articulate and well-spoken and clear and concise and precise with his wording and everything. Every time, and it's not just with us. Every time I see him on Chikara, which you can watch all the past events on Chikaratopia. Anytime he does an event center for Chikara, anytime I have heard him on a podcast, the man is very well spoken.
Of course.
And a great interview across the board. So I just wanted to throw that out there. Because take it from two guys who've interviewed a lot of people between Beyond Ringside and respective wrestling promotions. Sometimes you get those who don't know how to gesticulate very well.
Earlier today, had some breaking news over on social media. As a gentleman that you have seen everywhere from New Japan to Ring of Honor, PWG, numerous other promotions. I've worked with him at AWE over in Atlanta back when it was operational. Michael Elgin released a statement on Twitter earlier today regarding his ongoing case of sexual misconduct. The judge and the courts have dismissed the case. He also took the time to release copies of the court documentation that show that the charges have been dismissed. So, first off, tip of the hat, I'm not going to sit back and put over that he and I had long, in-depth conversation or we hang out and we're, grab a Frosty at Wendy's together or anything like that. I had a great chance to talk to him when I was working with him at AWE that night. But he's always come across as easy to talk to, personable, friendly, all of the above, but very intense at the same time. So for this to come and happen in his favor, I don't know everything that is a part of this case, nor do I claim to. But when a court and a judge sit back and say, this is dismissed all the way across the board, then I'd tip my hat in that particular direction. MaBo?
Yeah, that's great news. Phenomenal to hear, and I don't really know what you're saying. This congratulations. It's good to know that the justice system worked. Not saying that I'm not one of those people like, oh, the justice system never works. It is. I'm just sometimes it's a good bad thing. Sometimes it plays favorably into the to the laps of people who, justly deserve it. And sometimes, we'll all say this, sometimes people get screwed over. Everything, though, was found in favor of Mr. Elgin, and, he can be, he touted his innocence, and, it was, proven in a court of law. So, great. And hopefully there will not be any kind of, I don't really know completely how the justice system works. Never claimed to. Never even watched an episode of LA Law. But hopefully, there's not any, because I know some people usually spin out other forms of lawsuits if they'll get their way the first time. I don't know if that's civil suits. I don't know.
Right.
I've just heard random stuff on TV shows. So, but hopefully this will be the end of that dark cloud that has been over Michael Elgin, and he might be showing up in Alabama sooner rather than later.
Mm-hmm.
So,
rumors abound, and when we get more info, we'll pass it along.
Yep. Well, maybe.
Maybe. Triple A. There you go. Allegedly. No, that's allegedly is not the operative word. It's still maybe, possibly, conceivably.
Inconceivable.
Unfathomable.
You keep using that word. I don't think it means what you think it means.
I know what it means.
Inconceivable?
Unfathomable.
No, I'm talking about inconceivable.
I know what you think it means. I know what I think it means. Meanwhile, we know what it means.
And meanwhile, back at the Radio Ranch,
Triple H recently spoke with The National in Abu Dhabi. During the interview, he revealed the plan for several additional WWE Performance Center locations.
Oh, boy.
Going from Lords of Pain on this one, of course, like I said, I give my sources. The comment was made by Triple H. What?
Sorry, that just struck me as funny. Eddie with his little glib, flippant self. I give my sources.
There you go. If it's something I know personally, then I will say that it's personal first-hand information. If it's something that I'm taking from another source, then I give credit to the source.
I know, but it's just the way you just snuck it in there. It's just like, oh, I'm Eddie Layne. I give my sources.
Oh, wait, this is Tuesday, not Thursday. I don't have to go for the shooter's gallery theory. Ready, aim, fire. Actually, it's ready, fire, aim. Hunter is quoted as saying, I can tell you there will be a performance center in India. There will be a performance center in the Middle East, and there will more than likely be a performance center in Latin America. Hunter says that...
What?
Yes?
Well, I was going to say, but there's... Okay, the one country I can kind of see him maybe glossing over because it's mafia, or the mob, I should say. Obviously, he didn't say anything about having a performance center in Japan, but are you kind of surprised that the next announcement is there's not a performance center in Canada?
You have the conceivable possibility that they feel that the Florida Performance Center is equally accessible to those in both Mexico and in Canada.
So you basically, it's no longer the Performance Center down in Orlando, Florida. It's the Performance Center in North America.
That'd be a logical assessment.
Just like, I guess, eventually it will not be the Performance Center in the United Kingdom. It's going to be the Performance Center for Europe. Almost like they're trying to put one on each continent.
Or it could still be just the UK Performance Center. They may open up to different countries. It just depends.
Well, you got to think, though, yes, you got to cover your Scotland, your Ireland, your Wales, maybe even France and all that stuff. But what about a UK Australia? You think we might get a UK Australia? What the crap?
I was wondering, you mean PC Australia?
They already have a UK Australia. It's called Australia.
There you go.
You think they might do it NXT Australia? Because there is a lot of untapped potential down in Australia. I mean, not just Australia, but Tasmania and New Zealand, and even going over to the islands, like obviously Samoa, Tonga, all those areas, Fiji. Because I know Bad Luck Fale has his dojo. I believe it's in New Zealand. And it's cranking out some stars. But you look at this one, you got Peyton Royce and Billy Kay coming out of Australia. You got Outback Jack coming out of Australia. I can't think right now. There's a who else am I thinking of? Buddy Murphy. That's it.
There you
Buddy
go.
Murphy. But yeah, there's a lot of untapped potential, and I wouldn't be surprised if I'm not going to say within the next year. Honestly, because he wants to hit India and all that stuff. But I bet you, I'm going to go ahead and call it right now. February 10th? No, 5th? 6th? 5th? Oh wait, we are in 2019, so crap. I guess it will be within a year. I was going to say by the end of 2020, I bet you we get the announcement of NXT Australia, or at least an Australia Performance Center.
Ring of Honor Wrestling. And, of course, I'm sure the entire wrestling world, for the most part, offers up huge congratulations to Ring of Honor World Champion Jay Lethal for breaking the record for most combined days as champion. According to the report that came out, that it was Jay Lethal surpassing Samoa Joe's record for combined days as an ROH World Champion.
Yeah, I mean, Jay Lethal, who, I can remember back years ago when he first started out, and I think he was, I can't remember what the name of the little group was, but they all had, like, the street name for drugs. There was, like, Hydro and Special K, and there was, like, 10 of them. But, I remember him starting out in Ring of Honor as part of that group. That shows you've watched too much wrestling over the years, which you can't even remember back to 2003 or 4, or even sooner than that. But yeah, to see him come all the way now through his time in TNA and Impact, all the way left there, all the way back. I mean, dude's hit just about every conceivable company and promotion you can think of, and killed it wherever he's gone. So
it has been released that the National Wrestling Alliance has announced a number of legends scheduled to appear at the April 27th Crockett Cup live event in Concord, North Carolina at Cabarrus Arena. I'll get it right in a minute. I transposed the B and the double R. Stan Lane, Dennis Condrey, and Bobby Eaton slated to appear. The Midnight Express, Jim Cornette will be there. Magnum TA, Terry Allen slated to appear. The Rock and Roll Express, Punky and Hoot, Ricky Morton and Robert Gibson slated to be there, as well as the Russian Nightmare, Nikita Koloff. More names are going to be announced in the upcoming days. Of course, Cabarrus Arena playing host to the Crockett Cup on April 27th. Combined forces, of course, Crockett Retrospective, Ring of Honor, and the National Wrestling Alliance all coming together for this great live event in Concord, North Carolina. Looking to see, and I'm trying to keep my eyes and ears open to find out if it's actually going to be simulcast or if this is going to be released for a VOD or DVD release a little bit later down the road. But, for our friends in the Mid-Atlantic area, this is a huge opportunity that is continuing to get even bigger. So to the National Wrestling Alliance putting this thing together, my hat's off. Thank you for moving in this direction. You can always move forward and be progressive, as well as continue to respect and honor tradition in pro wrestling. It's easier to do than you think. Trust me on this one. MaBo, your thoughts?
When I saw it was about a month or two back. Whenever they announced it, I was like, ooh, because that was another, obviously, as you would say, longtime listeners of the show, know that my favorite things are like the Royal Rumble, War Games, Battle Bowl, Lethal Lottery, even to take it to a weird concept that didn't really work too well at times. Scaffold matches. I was always fascinated by the scaffold match, but I always liked the Crockett Cup. Growing up, and I was equal parts NWA, equal parts WWF. But like I said, people who listen to the show know that that was not my first taste of wrestling. My first taste of wrestling was Continental down here in the, Southeast Alabama, all that stuff. But yeah, I was always excited. And Bunkhouse Battle Royals, where you have to dress up like a weird cowboy.
You mean the Bunkhouse Stampedes?
Bunkhouse Stampede. Oh my God! It's only officially a Bunkhouse Stampede if you're wearing jeans tucked into your cowboy boots and a bandana tied around your leg. And a sleeveless T-shirt. That's your official Bunkhouse Stampede outfits. But yeah, Crockett Cup was always fascinating to me. And if I'm not mistaken, wasn't the very first one Dusty and Nikita?
I think.
Because it was supposed to be Dusty and Magnum PA, but he got that. Was it a motorcycle or was it a Ferrari?
God, it's been so long I forgot. I want to say it was a motorcycle, but I don't think it was. I thought it was a Porsche. Porsche.
Yeah, I knew it was some kind of. It was either a motorcycle or like at the time a fancy sports car. But yeah, I do remember the accident, and Nikita took his place. So, but yeah, I mean, that the Crockett Cup also holds a special place in my in my wrestling heart. So when I saw the announcement, I was like, oh, cool. And I don't know how many qualifiers have already taken place, but I know one that took place 2 weekends ago, maybe in Texas during a Ring of Honor loop. It was Kenny King, and MVP. They defeated Colt Cabana and Willie Mack, which, honestly, I would have liked to see Colt Cabana and Willie Mack go further because that would be an interesting tag team. But, yeah, so, they're doing qualifiers left and right on Ring of Honor shows, so, and, of course, pop-up. I know they're doing a lot of pop-up NWA shows as well. So, they're doing the qualifiers. I think it's going to be awesome. I would like to see. I don't think it's been released yet because I think they might still be doing qualifiers, but I would like to see the tournament brackets very soon.
It's funny because we talk about the Crockett Cup and the lineage that is involved in that, because to me, it goes back before really Jim Crockett Promotions, because they were primarily in the Mid-Atlantic states, Mid-Atlantic Championship Wrestling, and from there, when Georgia Championship Wrestling, or Championship Wrestling from Georgia, was in play back in the fledgling days of WTBS, WTCG, Turner Cable Group. I remember on a Thanksgiving night, because I was there in 1981, when they held a Thanksgiving night tournament to crown new national tag team champions. It was technically, the Aftermags always called them the Georgia National Tag Team titles, but they were the NWA National Tag Team Champions. And that was the night that Bob and Brad Armstrong captured the National Tag Team titles as well. I believe it was like $25,000-$30,000 was the capper prize to go along with it, to go along with being the champions. But that was a night, got heat from family. Left Thanksgiving early. But from that vantage point, I just, it was cool. A couple friends of mine and I went over there and got there a little bit late, but still managed to get decent seats. Not really great, but yeah, kind of upper deck in the Omni, which to me, that was one of those solidifying moments, because when you have that kind of energy in a room, and it shows that tag team wrestling, properly done, tournament format or regular shows, tag team wrestling lives. Tag team wrestling can carry a show and can keep a crowd rocking, plain and simple. So, yeah, for the announcement of the Crockett Cup coming back, I really think that's a major one. And for the fine folks in the Mid-Atlantic area, hey, definitely mark your calendars, check it out. It's going to be a lot of fun, that I guarantee.
Well, let me ask you this, Eddie. Since the rebranding of the National Wrestling Alliance under Billy Corgan, I mean, I know we have the NWA Heavyweight Champion, which is Nick Aldis, and you've got the National Champion, which is the Willie Mack. Have they announced a women's or a tag?
I have not seen or heard whether that's happening.
So I'm wondering if maybe, kind of like what they did with the Cruiserweight Classic a couple years ago, the winners become the first ever national, or the current, reigning and defending the National Wrestling Alliance tag team champions.
Okay, did you watch Raw last night?
Believe it, I watched up until 9 o'clock, and I was like, okay, well, there's no way I'm going to pass out now. It's 9:30. We got this.
Okay, I did not watch Raw last night. And obviously because of what time it is and what time we went live on the show, I didn't watch SmackDown either. I'll watch them both as the week progresses.
Yeah, I'll watch SmackDown. Only way I watch SmackDown is if I'm there live.
Yeah.
No offense to the SmackDown people. It's just...
That's why I've got an easier time watching SmackDown than I do Raw.
See, I've got an easier time watching Raw. It's just because I've been doing it for, 20-something years now?
Well, yeah, but by the same token, SmackDown's a shorter show.
But I guess it's because SmackDown has jumped around time slots over the years.
Yeah.
I got used to reading the results, and then the past few years when they've gone live, I'm like, I'll still read the results. But yeah, I made it up to, gosh, I can't remember, but like I said, I honestly thought, well, since it's so late, there's no way I'm going to end up passing out. I've had good sleep and everything. And then I remember even looking at the clock, and I was like, oh, okay, we're going into the 9 o'clock hour. I should be good. It was right after the Double J match against Elias. And it's like, yeah, there's no way I'm going to pass out. And then next thing I know, I wake up and what is it, Deal or No Deal was on, and I'm like, what happened? Because it wasn't one of those, I've been asleep when, I wake up, I'm like, oh, well, I guess I went to sleep. It was one of those, I closed my eyes, and then I opened them up, and there's Howie Mandel, and I'm like, what segment is this on Raw? Nope. I passed out.
Well, I know we kind of spoke about it a little bit on Sunday as it was occurring, but I'm just going to sit back, and I want to go back over the six-man tag team match from Halftime Heat. Cole, Gargano, and Ciampa versus Velveteen, Ricochet, and Alistair. There are those moments in time, and for those who wondered how well this was going to go, you should have realized with the 6 people that were going to be in the ring as part of this 6-man tag that it was going to be, well, okay, when you have the caliber of those 6, it is either going to be straight to the stratosphere or holy hell, what just happened? And the latter was not the case. It was definitely the former. Because that 6-man tag was just energy from start to finish. I went back and watched it again a little bit later in the evening. And it was a case of, this was just good. It was an attention getter. And for those who... Now, granted, you have to remember, because outside of the WWE bubble, a lot of fans in the mainstream aren't going to know about this. Because WWE is not very strong in advertising outside of their bubble right now. I mean, if you have people making an appearances coming to your town, it's like the last time SmackDown came to Birmingham, a couple of them did call-ins or maybe a sit-in on a local television show. But as far as anything else, it really didn't get that much major publicity. And this is one thing that's hurting WWE right now. You take some things in this world for granted, and that's not a good thing. But like I said, it was a case of I wished that I could have been at the PC to watch this match live. Because on screen, it was a blast. So I can only imagine how good it was there in person. Right, Bowman?
Well, I can say right now. And, long-time listener, hardly ever caller, Corey McIntyre. He and I, we were talking about it and everything, and we for those of us who followed them on the independents, we know what Gargano, we know what Ciampa can do. We know the 5-star matches that they had in NXT. Everybody knows the phenomenon that is Ricochet. Everybody knows what Adam Cole can do and has done when in his career previous to NXT. Everybody knows about Aleister Black, what he did, how he tore it up, first tore it up over in the United Kingdom and all that, and then came over and was tearing it up on the independent scene and PWG, all that stuff. But and it's a point I brought up to Corey himself. And when he brought it up to me first, he goes, in reference to the Velveteen Dream, he goes, "Can you believe that's the kid from Tough Enough, a couple years ago?" And I was like, no, because he was, I was like, that little ish, well, I didn't say ish head, but that little ish head is now not only a well-rounded professional wrestler, but he's one of the top talents in NXT that people are clamoring to be called up to the main roster. I was like, if you would have told me that when Patrick Clark was on Tough Enough, it was Tough Enough, right? Because it wasn't,
It wasn't NXT.
Yeah, no. But yeah, if you would have told me that because he didn't win and he was basically acting like a little douche. But if you would have told me at the end of that season that one day Patrick Clark, within the next 5 years, because I think it was within 5 years, that he would be one of the most popular performers, sports entertainers, wrestlers, whatever you want to call them, on the NXT brand. Because keep in mind, NXT was in its fledgling. What is NXT now was in its fledgling days. If you would have told me that, I would have been like, you are on the cracks, because there's no way that dude, even when he got signed and he was still just Patrick Clark, and he was wearing those god awful U.S. patriotic tights. If you would have told me that when Patrick Clark, even when he got signed to NXT, that he would morph into the Velveteen Dream, and then the Velveteen Dream would morph into this, one of the most popular characters on NXT, and I would say, put him. I'd say he's at least in the top 20 popular characters in WWE. Period. Not like of all time, but obviously in the current day and age. I would still be like, you have hit your head. We need to get you to the emergency room. You're suffering from some form of concussion. So, and then and not just from his character aspect, just from his work rate too. I mean, the matches he's had with Ricochet and several others. I'm honestly taken aback.
I'm just curious as to see how long it's going to take him to get called up, because, I mean, he's doing great self-promotion. A lot of the other stars are like, why isn't he up here yet? And even Corey Graves is doing this real push, like, why is he not here yet? And he's not.
Well, I mean, go ahead.
I think that his character would be better suited for SmackDown.
I'm going to say this, and this goes for a lot of guys. I don't want to see any more call-ups, because, I mean, yes, you need call-ups to keep things fresh, to keep things evolving, to bring up the next batch of stars into NXT itself, to NXT television, I should say, to bring those people up from just doing house shows and start getting them ready to do NXT television, so which the next step would be calling them up to the main brand. But we're already oversaturated, and that's where we end up with the downfall of a lot of the call-ups, is because the main roster is so oversaturated, and to me, it's just some of the people need to go ahead and step away. You've had your time. You've been here 10, 15 years, some of even the more long-termers. And I know, it gets in your blood, when you try to step away, you still, you get that itch, you get that feel, but we can't keep bringing up NXT people. Can't keep calling those up to the two respective brands Raw and SmackDown and expect them to flourish if the old guard is still around.
Okay, but if
I
the old guard is still healthy and still drawing, then
oh no, I mean I get that from a business standpoint.
Yeah,
but you're still going to just keep choke. It's going to get choked. And
okay, we have a major problem on Raw and SmackDown right now. That it still seems to be yet again the same core group of people on both shows.
Exactly.
And lo and behold, a lot of the talent that is in the locker room, the creative will say, well, we don't have anything for you this week. But instead of rotating stars and giving everybody an opportunity to shine and get over, they still concentrate on certain individuals. I mean, I know you're chomping at the bit to see when Mojo Rawley comes back on TV.
You can shut your mouth. Mojo Rawley can be walking down the street, step on a used heroin needle, contract some kind of disease.
Okay, that'll do.
And then fall in a dumpster fire, because that's what he is. He is a dumpster fire.
Okay.
Hey, look, just because you can bag on a certain reporter, I'll bag on Mojo Rawley.
Yeah, but
he's useless.
Yeah, but okay, if Rawley's the only one you're really going to bag on, then
well, he's the only one I'm going to bag on this week.
Okay, so if I start racking off names,
who else do I normally bag on?
JBL.
I ain't worried about him. He's retired. He's gone.
Charlotte.
Look, I'm an equal opportunity. Look, male and female.
Okay.
Well, male and horse.
According to Fightful, WWE is reportedly returning to Saudi Arabia on May 3rd for the third time in 2 years following the greatest Royal Rumble and Crown Jewel events. This does, of course, fit the timetable of an earlier report by an unnamed source that said WWE will probably be back in the Middle East in May and possibly November of this year. So from that vantage point, you know, with all of the controversy that took place around Crown Jewel because of situations that occurred that were non-wrestling related, is it a safe bet to go back this soon, as in May? Maybe, maybe not. Only time will tell. You can't always, I mean, and how many of the stars are going to say, well, they never did really resolve that situation, so in good conscience, I can't go. Well, fine, you won't get paid. If you don't want to work, we don't have to pay you. And don't even worry about that downside guarantee.
Well, my question is it going to be the greatest Royal Rumble ever?
Bah humbug.
Or will it be the Survivor Series? Well, I mean, you basically, you know, you've given them our version of the Royal Rumble, and with the Crown Jewel, you've given them our version of King of the Ring. So, are we going to have the helliest of cells?
Yeah, that'll work too. And, you know, one thing that a lot of people should be worrying about right now, including WWE's front office, the February 4th, 2019 Monday Night Raw saw a 7% ratings drop following their post-Royal Rumble episode, falling to an average of 2.51 million viewers throughout the course of the show. Statistics indicate that Raw was still third among total cable viewers and was the top-watched program in the 18 to 49 demographic. This is significantly lower than last year's ratings around the same time. The breakdown hour by hour, the first hour averaged 2.65 million viewers, second hour 2.55, and the third hour 2.3. So, I mean, as the show progressed, once again, you can only do so much, because when you're running that long of a show, the attention span is going to drop. And unfortunately, once again, that third hour is going to suffer.
Well, I know how to fix it.
What?
More Otis Dozovic.
Because now that's just the overnights. That is not going to end. That's not going to reflect the +3, +5 for the DVR rating system. So I'll be curious to see how those shake out, and I'll be watching those numbers. And probably when the +3s come out, I'll be able to talk about those a little bit more this coming Thursday on Shooter's Gallery. Brother, we need to go ahead for the ranch.
Oh, I don't want want to go to the ranch. I don't want to go to the Thousand Islands. I don't want to go to the Catalina. I don't want to go to any of that stuff. I thought we went over the fact that I don't like salad dressing.
You know what I meant.
For Otis Dozovic?
No.
By the way, I know you said you hadn't watched Raw, but they did a Four Corners tag match thing. Damn you, Corey Graves, because he slid in a Chris Farley reference about Otis Dozovic that I've been saying Otis Dozovic looked like Chris Farley long before he did. He in the match, he said, or I think it was near the entrances, he said, Otis Dozovic looks like he should be living in a van down by the river.
Yep.
And once again, the single names strike, thanks to the WWE. They are no longer Otis Dozovic and Tucker Knight. They are just Otis and Tucker. Otis and Tucker sound like the two guys that run the bait shop.
In Mayberry.
Yes. So, does Vince hate last names?
We're making it too difficult for him. We got to simple it down. Cut off a name.
I mean, Alexander Rusev, Andrade Almas, Antonio Cesaro. Although I've grown to
Elias.
Huh?
Elias.
Yeah, Elias. Well, yeah. Like, well, he started out with like 16 names.
Yeah, no.
But yeah, so I guess if you sign on with the WWE, you're just going to lose your name. So,
well, folks, we're going to go ahead and call it for this Tuesday night edition on this 5th day of February. Thank you again once again to Bryce Remsburg, the Director of F.U.N for Chikara, and of course, spokesman for National Pro Wrestling Day. Thank you so much for taking the time to come on this evening. Of course, if you caught Sunday's show, you caught a lot of the shameless plugs. We got a lot going on. I want to go ahead and throw this one out just to be for our friends in the Birmingham metropolitan area. I invite you to drop out to Buffalo Wild Wings in Alabaster, Alabama, and say hi. Friday nights, 9 o'clock p.m. I'm your humble host for Friday Night Karaoke. Always a great time. And, of course, karaoke starts at 9 o'clock. We go all ages 9 o'clock. 10 o'clock. At 10 o'clock, we go 18 and up. And at 10 o'clock, we kick off the Just for Fun Karaoke Challenge. You sing, you're entered. And a $25 Buffalo Wild Wings gift card will be on the line. MaBo, any quick plugs you'd like to throw in there?
Other than what we said previously about National Pro Wrestling Day, you know what? If you got it in your heart to throw a buck or two their way, you could go through Chikara and watch the event on independentwrestling.tv. Help them out. It's a great cause. All their sponsors. Other than that, really, don't got anything. If I did, I forgot it. Long day. Long day, no bacon cheese fries. Although let's be honest, kids, how good could bacon cheese fries from McDonald's be?
At Beyond Ringside on Twitter, Facebook.com/Beyond Ringside, and Facebook.com/Beyond Ringside on social media. Yes, we do have an Instagram account, which is severely underused, and that will be changing as the spring approaches.
We have an Instagram account?
Yes, we do.
I didn't know that.
Yes, we do.
Oh, goodness.
From there, let me go ahead and what the heck happened to the rotator?
Stop rotating.
No, it just totally blipped over what was supposed to be there. So let me scroll back up and say, oh crap, what happened this time? That's a dumpster fire waiting to happen.
It's a Mojo Rawley waiting to happen.
Oh, there you go. I wondered if you'd jump on that.
And as Eddie was saying, I forgot exactly what point he was saying, but tune in this Sunday night for your latest edition of Beyond Ringside Live. Also, this Thursday night, the Shooters Gallery with Eddie Layne, Ted Guinness, Shane Knowles, Barbara Bush,
Phil Stamper.
Actually, I promise you, I looked at the picture and I almost said Phil Shatter because I was looking at my autographs on the wall.
Oh, good Lord.
Phil Stamper, the pirate that used to terrorize McDonald Land will be there.
All right.
Keep going. I was trying to cover for you.
Oh, I was back and ready. BeyondRingside.com is home, as well as ProWrestlingRadio.net home as well. Thank you to everybody catching us on the live version. And, of course, if you're catching us on replay, thank you so much. Remember, the players over on BeyondRingside.com and ProWrestlingRadio.net are both mobile device friendly. Apple, Android, BlackBerry, all of the above. So you don't just have to listen on desktop. And, of course, don't forget there is the TuneIn mobile app. Beyond Ringside does have a channel over there. Folks, thanks again for hanging out. We hope you enjoyed the ride. Bryce, always a pleasure. For Mark MaBo Bowman.
We're going to have a tag team championship tag team match tonight on SmackDown. In your main event, player. Holla.
I'm the Magic City Motor Mouth Fast Eddie Layne saying thank you for joining us. And join us next time as we all go Beyond Ringside. Bye for now.